Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Sheep Get Sheared Podcast, home of people, politics, and popular culture. I'm your host, Austin Creed. I want to welcome you into the program. Gentlemen, we have to have a discussion about the ladies. You know, I used to do these videos a little more than I do now. I think I'm going to bring them back because when I'm talking to you, I'm also talking to myself. I tried to not make it seem like I'm lecturing everybody because at the end of the day, I got my own problems too. I have my own issues too. And I try not to take them too much out on the show, but if you're struggling with anything that I bring up, especially around women and whatnot, I'm probably as guilty as you are, which is exactly why I'm talking about it. I want people to avoid the mistakes that I've made in my life. And I want to also keep it as a reminder to myself to never make the same mistakes again. What am I talking about? What I'm talking about is that women will disappoint you. And I don't say that as in they'll do it out of malicious intent or they'll do it in a way that's megalomaniacal or diabolical. No. That's not what I'm talking about. Here's the problem. When men first explore the red pill area of relationships, it's often too much. They can't handle it. It's a lot of truth all dumped on them at one time, and they get angry. That's why there's such a thing as red pill rage, when arguably it's blue pill or purple pill rage, but that's besides the point. The point is, when you're sold a dream, which is what you are. You're sold a fantasy, a dream, that you're going to meet the one, you're going to take them down the aisle, you're going to live happily ever after, and everything is going to be great. That's what you're sold. Everyone is sold that they deserve love. Someone out there will love you for you. And if you haven't found them yet, that it's your fault and you've been looking in the wrong place. But if you just keep looking, if you just don't give up, you will find that person and then you will have your happily ever after. My friends, this is just false. This is false. No, I'm not saying that you can't have great relationships. Of course you can. But nothing is ever going to be perfect. And that is why I say women will disappoint you. I'm going to come at this from two different angles. One from the fantasy, and one from a fantasy that you might not even suspect. I'm going to go from the traditional and the untraditional fantasy. Traditional fantasy is pretty self-explanatory, right? You're either told that monogamy is the natural state of mankind, or you're told the fairy tale of Disney that they've sold people of an entire generation, that you're entitled to love and the one and a Prince Charming or a princess, and as soon as you find that person, then your whole life will be complete and it'll be better and your life will be easy after that. Yeah, that is false. Unbelievably false. Disgustingly false, by the way. That's the traditional side. The untraditional side is something I want to bring up that might make you a little uncomfortable, but we're going to talk about it anyway. For those of you who are into prawn, you're into watching the sheet flicks, the skin flicks, I'm going to come at this from a different perspective, okay? If you're used to watching prawn, you're used to watching these kinds of skin flicks. When you're used to finishing up, you're used to kind of turning it off and going back about your normal life. So people like to talk about the unrealistic expectations of prawn. Well, they're onto something, because when it comes down to it, you as a man, you could be choking the chicken or whatever, and then as soon as you're done, you turn it off, you clean yourself up, you walk out and you go about your life. When you actually get intimate with a woman, it doesn't work that way. It does not work that way in almost every circumstance ever. Because as soon as you relieve yourself, you're going to be looking at this like, oh man, I just want to be alone. Like, not that I don't even like the person, I just want to be alone. I don't want to be around anybody right now. I don't want nobody to touch me. I don't want nobody to be all up on me. I don't want to cuddle. I don't want to make out. I don't want to do any of that. I just want to be alone, man. And so In that sense, you're sold a fantasy as well, because you don't understand what it's like to be in a relationship with an actual human being who has needs and desires and wants and everything else. So then when you get intimate with them, of course they're going to want something from you afterwards. And not like the video where you can just turn it off and go back about your day. You can't just, slap, tell the girl thank you, shake her hand, and then leave. Most of the time, you are going to be very liable to catch a false alligator in the wild if you do something like that. My friends, those are the two fantasies you're really sold. Oh, and you could also add onto that the fact that it's free. Nothing's free. I don't care if it's a free lunch from a public school or if it's free vulva from the women in the streets. There's no such thing as free. In fact, you're probably paying more on the back end than you would be up front. No, I'm not saying you pay with money necessarily. What I'm saying is you kind of work something out. You realize, you find out, like in every other business relationship. You know what's funny is people will get so turned off immediately when I correlate romance with business. They get so turned off. They're like, ugh, Austin, you make everything sound so transactional and I don't like it and it makes me uncomfortable and blah, blah, blah. That's called reality for you. If you don't like it, turn off the show. Go find someone who's going to tell you about love and how everyone needs to meet your needs for nothing and how you deserve everything. You don't deserve jack. You earn everything. Go ahead. You can go turn the show off. I don't care what you do. You're just mad that I'm giving you the truth and I'm not selling you a dream. People want to be sold the dream, by the way, in case you didn't know. People want to be sold a dream because it makes them feel good. I'm not here to make you feel good. I'm here to make you feel like you've come to terms with reality. I'm here to help you better your life, struggle in the short term, in the midterm, to win in the long term. That is my goal. My goal is not to make you feel better about yourself. My goal is not to make you feel good. My goal is to make you feel more informed. That is my goal. That is what I want this show to do. And you know what? Reality is very unpleasant more than half the time. I mean, for God's sakes, I have references like in the Infinity War where Thanos gets the reality stone and he says, reality is often disappointing. But now, reality can be whatever I want. You realize how powerful that is? I know people just, they'll skid right by it and not realize how powerful that actually is. That is a very powerful statement. People have wanted that power since the beginning of time. And in fact, we are programmed to interpret things and justify and cope and everything else to interpret things the way we want to see them. A lot of that is conditioned. A lot of it is outside your initial control. It's only when you realize the biases you've been fed, the fantasies you've been fed, the garbage that's been dumped industrially into your brain for the last 15, 18, 12 years, and you have to realize what it is and then decide whether you want to undo it or if you want to be beta forever. That's what you gotta decide. And that's why I say women will disappoint you, because you're fed this fantasy that they're sugar spice and everything nice, when in fact they're human beings just like you. Are you sugar spice and everything nice all the time? No, I didn't think so. Women are people too. They're dynamic creatures. They're not always nice and proper and everything, just like you're not. Your boy isn't. Your dad isn't. Your uncle isn't. Just like men, women, they have the same exact issues as men. When it comes to, they're not perfect. They have problems. They have issues. They have trauma. And yet, we want to pretend like women are angels and men are demons, and this is just factually incorrect. It's just not true. Everybody's just people. Some people are better than others. Some people are more virtuous than others. That is just the reality, and that is why you'll be disappointed, because you're sold the dream that they're perfect, that they're morally superior to you and everything else, when in fact, more often than not, the exact opposite is true. Especially when it comes to people, because women understand people better than men do, because they learn this stuff earlier than men. Men, when they're 10, 12, whatever, they're still playing with trains and video games and action figures. Women are gossiping. They've probably gone through 3 friendships already, 2 friend groups, and they understand how to manipulate and how to appeal to people and everything else, and that's not inherently bad. It's just different than men. So when men get into middle school and high school and they want to get into romance, they don't realize that women are far ahead of the curve when it comes to understanding the human condition, understanding human psychology, human biology. They are so far ahead of them. They're light years ahead of the men, and they run circles around them, and that's usually when a man experiences his first trauma. Gentlemen, when did you get your heart broken first? Middle school, high school, college? When? I guarantee you at some point you have. Now, I'm not saying the woman did it just to pull one over on you. In fact, she probably didn't. She probably thought, oh, he was okay for then, but then a better option came along, and she exercised that better option. You would do the same thing if you could, but most men can't, and that's why they get upset. Most men would do the exact same thing that they bash women for doing, but they just can't do it. So that's why they bash on women. That's why I don't think hypergamy is bad. It's bad if you're on the bottom. It's bad if you're a bum. It's bad if you're broke, but it's not bad if you're winning. It's not bad if you're a winner. It's not bad if you're out here trying to achieve and become the best version of yourself. You love hypergamy, because that means some broke dude's girlfriend's gonna come after you instead of you having to go after her. She gonna find you, because women are conditioned to like pretty much the same thing. It might be a different version of the same thing, but it's pretty much the same thing. Our biology is pretty much the same as our caveman ancestors. Now, I realize that a lot of you are probably very offended by the things I just said. I realize that I said it in a very commanding and authoritative tone, so I'm going to bring it down a little bit. I'm gonna try to comfort you, because I realize you're probably a little scared now. But that's okay. We're here to win. I want you to become better. And that's why I'm going to encourage you on your way out to become the best version of yourself. Don't bash women. Don't bash other people who are different than you. Just accept the fact that you're not the best version of yourself. You're probably down your luck. You're probably unhappy. And the only person that can change that is you. The only person that can get better friends is you. The only person that can get more money is you. The only person that can achieve their dreams and put themselves on the throne and put a crown on their head is you. So what's stopping you? The man in the mirror is stopping you. You gonna let him? Or are you gonna override him? My friends, I hope this got through to you, and I hope you took this in the way I intended. My friends, God bless you. God bless your families, and God bless America. You can follow me on X at Sheep Get Sheared. I'm putting up an Instagram as well, but that's gonna be a little slow moving. I'm attempting to become better at that. Patreon at Sheep Get Sheared. My friends, take care of yourselves. Remember, become the best version of yourself. Do not try to drag people down. I'm out. Peace.